Hi, yeah. Hi, I'm Tassin. Just a bit of background for me. I'm a games art and design student and long-time viewer of Valorant, Plat Chat, everything related to that. Yeah, how's the off season been generally, and how have those events been? Yeah.
Good, really fun. I went to Red Bull Homeground. That was really nice. Just to be on co-stream, meet some of the players, see some of the games, and then off season in general. I think this has been one of our more busier ones with a lot of team switches, like
Mm.
roster changes and stuff, roster mania. It's been a really fun time so far. It's been nice. How's school been for you? How are things
Ah,
going?
it's been hectic. A lot of group projects, a lot of
Yeah,
essays. It's been good though. Yeah, let's talk about Red Bull Homeground a bit more. So, I
yeah.
think if I remember correctly, this is your first time being live with the Plat Chat guys, and how was that experience doing the live show first, and then the following days with the co-stream being in person?
Yeah, I was at the Toronto live show as well, and that was really fun.
Oh, yeah, my
Because
bad.
I'm in Toronto, and so that was nice for me to be able to fill in for Bren. For
Mm.
this one, I think also filling in for Bren and filling in last minute as well, because I think Wyatt's flights got canceled. But yeah, I was able to go out. It was a fun show. Got to chill with everyone, and then being on stream as well. On the co-stream, it was just like being like as a part of a cast almost, like in general, like if you're on
Mm.
broadcast, because we had like 14-hour days, 12-hour days sometimes. It was a fun time. It was really good. Yeah,
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 yeah, that's sick.
yeah,
Yeah. Also, part of this off season, you've been on that content grind, streaming a lot of the time.
yeah,
Arc Raiders, Pokemon, everything.
yeah.
Uh, what's that been like? I know you did some content like a few years ago too, but I feel like recently
Yeah.
you've like really gone into it, especially this year. So, what's that experience been like?
Good. I've been trying to do more offline content just to like build more of a brand. And like I've stagnated a bit after Red Bull. I was like on a good schedule, but then Red Bull shook everything up. I'm still trying to get on the wave of
Yeah.
uploading more. But streaming wise, it's been a lot of fun. I think ever since the like everyone's welcome charity stream that we did in the summer, like ever since then, like content's been really fun to play with. Similar like caster colleagues in a sense, and then after that, like just generally playing games. I used to do it a lot, like pre traveling a lot for Fortnite, and
Mm.
now I'm able to do it again when we have like a little bit of an off season, which is nice. But it's really fun, man. Love games, love streaming them. That's why I wanted to do this in the first place. So it's a good time. Yeah,
That's awesome. I mean, even some of the recent streams, like that vintage story stream, like from yesterday, I think. I,
yeah,
some of the stuff was so funny to watch.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, and you talked a bit about Fortnite, which was like I would say your main game before Valorant.
yeah.
And I got to talk to Ravish a bit yesterday, and he mentioned how hard it can be to switch between games occasionally. And
Mhm.
what was like kind of that transition going from Fortnite to Valorant, and like still doing some Fortnite stuff. I know you did a cast a few days ago too. What
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that transition like?
Transition wise, like it's just about it's more networking than it is like a skill thing that's an issue.
Mm,
For me, or like usually a barrier, I feel like for a lot of people, but for me personally, like when it comes to switching between both games and just being able to mechanically cast them and whatnot, like the knowledge gap and stuff like that is totally it's big chill. Like I can jump in, I can cast Fortnite today, Valorant tomorrow, CS the next day in a game you've never heard of or I don't even know anything about, like in 10 minutes. Like I
mm,
think one of my skills as a broadcaster is being able to pick up the stuff really fast. I think throughout that charity stream and like now I'm known as like in the community as like the guy who has 1,000 hours like in every game for some reason. Like every game we play for some reason I have like a an insight into. But like I love gaming in general. So like the transition between Fortnite and Val wasn't hard from a mechanical perspective. My issue has always been like keeping up with just esports history, player history, because that requires time. You can't like cheat at that. You can't be good at that to start off with. You have to kind of be there. So like that's the one thing I felt like was keeping me back in the transition between both those games. Because even in Fortnite, like I didn't care for player history as much as I cared for like being mechanically good at my job, which was play by play. Like the color handled a lot of like the history and whatnot, and the more specific details. I wanted to make sure in the moment things were shown the best. But like for Valorant, I think like I had almost all the Infinity Stones ready to snap, but player history and like just being a bit of a brand in the community was a gap or a lacking thing. But for 2025, we did all the co-streams and stuff. We got to know people a bit better. I got to know like every region really well as well for at least 24, 25. And then in the off season, we still have to go watch all the old games that are important,
mm.
and then catch up with that. And I think then we're fully caught up, and the transition will be good up until next year. Be casting a lot more.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, speaking of the community, I think like a really big thing that helped you be more seen, at least in the Valorant uh, esports scene, is like just like having that connection to Plat Chat especially, and like
Yeah.
like your communication between them. I think like is like very like what's the word like easy to them. Like I think
Yeah.
it comes like naturally, and I think when I think of Shyo and Plat Chat or Vodfathers, I think all the bits, I think all of the insane theories, but I think that's like such a natural part of those pods. And I
Yeah.
wanted to ask, like when you're coming up with these bits, like I think a great case study would be like the D&D thing. Like, what is your thought process as to why? Okay, this bit's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna do it no matter what. What is your thought process like behind making any type of bit, basically?
I have like an active, I basically have like an active Wi-Fi connection to whatever is being talked about can be related to like two or three things. And then
Mm.
as the conversation's happening, like I can like you basically have a choice of like, would this be funny? Like, would it be worth to do? Is it me? Sure, let's try it out. I think bits are the best when like you have other people that you know will roll with them as well. So like one of the cool things about Vodfathers and the D&D thing is that I know no matter what situation I'm in Vodfathers, these guys are going to just be yes and people, right? So
Yeah.
the
Okay.
more important thing is it's not about thinking about the bit in the moment because I'm always thinking about the bit. It's about surrounding yourself with people that'll actually go through with the bit, or like you're able to be comfortable in making that switch whenever you can. I think about it too much. I don't know why my brain's wired that way. But even for Plat Chat,
I
like
think
the
that's a
spank
positive.
theory stuff. Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Like even for Plat Chat, like the more outrageous stuff or things like that, I just know that I'm like at least allowed to say it, and like it comes from a
Yeah,
place
yeah.
of like, for years in Fortnite we have so many barriers, right? To the point of like I can't mention brand names like when I'm on broadcast. So
Mm.
like that's me. Like, and I have to find ways to. I would still make like they still knew me as like the analogy person, but like I would have to do this with an insane amount of parameters. So when I was
Mm.
like let loose on Plat Chat for the first time there was like I think in the first two episodes, nerves, wanted to be official, whatever. But as I open up a bit more, I'm like, whoa, I'm really allowed to like do whatever I want, and there is no rule book, which is like
Yeah.
really cool. It's like flying for the first time if you're a superhero, right? Like you understand like the sky is literally the limit. So that part's really fun. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in Fortnite, I even heard like a few years back, like stuff like you can't say kill, you have to say eliminate or something similar
Elimination.
like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah. So like having those barriers, I think is really good for like the type of personality you are, and like especially in Valorant, I think it works really well. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I want to talk about Vodfathers a little bit more. Basically, just
Yeah.
how did that group of three come to be for Vodfathers specifically, and how
Mhm.
did you get in contact with Last Free Nation to kind of set up that podcast?
Yeah, I think it was Monty that reached out to all of us and
Mm.
asked us if we would want to do this. And a yes for me was just like was in the basket because I really enjoy Plat Chat, but Plat
Mm.
Chat to me started to become like in terms of like when I was allowed to be on it or like asked to be on it. It's a dope privilege, but it's not every single week, right? Like
Yeah.
definitely a guest like sparingly or like to fill in for people, which I'll always be. And like I want Plat Chat to succeed like even more than Vodfathers, and I want Vodfathers to also be like right there at the same time. Like I love both podcasts so much, but I also wanted a place to be able to have like a bit more like creative control that's different than Plat Chat in terms of the product we want to bring out, and then B somewhere I can consistently like be on a podcast and then have like an income source in a sense, right? Like it'd be nice. The
Mm.
pitch overall in terms of like we're pushing for more sponsors directly on like LFN's like Valorant show. And then everything was kind of laid out for me, and it was just a yes no thing. So it was just a decision to make. And then the other two people who were already signed on were TMV and Josh, and then
Mm.
they were also like, hey, they came to me after me talking with Monty as well behind the scenes, and they're like, this is just an us thing. Like I know you might have issues with working out with other people in Last Nation, but don't worry about that. Like this is just like us in a bubble. What are we doing? It's our own Valorant show. It's gonna be slightly different from Plot Chat, more bit based. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's everything I was looking for, right? Like in a consistent nature. So yeah, 100% locked in.
Yeah. I'm actually really glad that it was you three who's doing this specific format. Like, I think
Yeah, yeah,
you, TMV, and Sideshow just like work so incredibly well off each other, especially for bits, but just like any sort of funny communication, I think it works basically brilliantly in Vodfathers.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
For my last question, I was just wondering, so 2026 season, a lot of changes for Valorant. There'll be even more changes in 27, but for that next season, like for you personally, what are you looking forward to the most? And like from a career point of view, is there any opportunities that you're like really wanting to like pursue or go into?
Yeah, the things I'm looking the most forward to are some of the teams that like are or were not that good in 2025, like literally bottom of the barrel or failed experiments, like rising up again. I don't think
Mm,
there's like a weak point that got weaker from a lot of the regions around the world. I think every single region, from like Wolves in China to even JDG, you have like Vitality with a God roster now, and they seem to be one of the rockiest teams. Like Furia can only get better now, and they have an entire rebuild. Envy's up in the business. Like I'm excited for the teams and to see how
mm,
they clash and who can make where, who can make what other theories or predictions everyone has, because it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be much harder this year to just to predict who's winning. And career choices for me specifically, I think I am like set forward a bit more to cast Valorant in general. Like I'm in a better spot
mm.
to be able to apply for things and whatnot. Hype to cast, I think tier two would be the beginning of things, but you never know what happens with contracts, with asks. Like I'm excited to be at champs personally. Like that's my goal is to be at that event, casting that event, analyzing that event, or in general, like being involved more in the tier one scene. I just am excited to cast it because that's what I do. I love all the games. I love the podcast, but like even at that Fortnite gig like a few days ago, like casting is my thing. And I know that every
Mm.
time I do it, even if it's for like watching ants eat food, like it's something I just want to do 24/7. So I'm hyped to do that more this year. I hope I get the opportunity to. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sick. I mean, I think your personality would like fit perfectly into any casting role, especially for Valorant.
Thank
And
you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I guess to close this off, we need a Shyo prediction. Who is winning champs 2026? We gotta know.
Champs 2026.
Yeah,
Um, the most unlikely thing would be like a stage two challengers team, right? Like that would
that would
be
be sick though.
genuinely insane. Yeah, that would be like
Yeah.
the super Cinderella story.
Is it
I
four
am gonna
teams
give it
per tier
to
two? Oh, sorry.
the what?
I was just
Sorry.
asking, is it four teams per tier two region, or I don't remember how many teams it is.
Yeah, I think it's a two entrant. I'm not sure if like one is the only like if there's only one team allowed to have the chance to go all the way to the top because they enter in
Okay.
playoffs. They don't get a guaranteed seat in the champs, right? So they'd
Oh,
have to
yeah,
win
yeah.
playoffs entirely. So I think it'd be max like one per region.
Right,
In a
okay.
sense. If every region had a challengers team winning, that'd be absolutely
That
insane.
would be awesome.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give it to Vitality. I feel like the rebuild is
Okay.
good. I feel like
Yeah.
they can lock in. And if not Vitality, I feel like this will be the year of EMEA. I think EMEA goes
Mm.
back to popping off. Even Fnatic might have a chance. But I feel like Vit are good. And I also feel like I'm gonna be wrong. If they don't change Veto, whatever team's using Veto is winning champs in the best way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in Yampi, especially from this
Nice.
year's IGL, and Durka and
Yeah.
Con being back together is definitely a good thing for Vitality, especially after 24.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, again, thank you so much for doing this.